you really picked up on something there, the fact that it really is about any sort of office or meeting that one has been acquainted with over the years. So it's not, in this case, really about a football tournament. It's really about the oddities of office life.
You've been playing Ian on and off for 14 years. For people who aren't familiar with the character, just tell them what we need to know.
Well, Ian Fletcher really is God's own firefighter, really. He's always brought in at that level just below where the real decisions, or rather where the real impact is made. So he's, if you like, in the engine room. He's trying to coordinate the engine room and ultimately take the blame when things go wrong, and how to spin that and how to make things always sound relentlessly positive. And he started off, as you say, with the Olympics. That turned out to be a massive triumph. And so then was brought in to steer the values of the BBC. Then, of course, they were outsourced, so he lost his job. And so now he's been brought into this major international football tournament that is taking place imminently in Mexico, Canada, and the USA. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, as the show always says, how does he get on with that challenge of going to Miami, new work colleagues, a new office? How does that go?
Well, he's really a bit of a fish out of water. He no longer has his fold-up bicycle, for instance, and has to rely on taxis. But he's staying in the shiny chrome world of Miami, in the corporate environment, and indeed runs into big problems immediately with the hotel he's staying in, who keep rejecting his credit card and offer him all sorts of inclusive breakfast arrangements that he's really not interested in. He just wants to get to the office. But being very insistent desk concierge types, they're trapping him there until he delivers a decent credit card. So it's all about the minutiae of just trying to get on with life, when really the bigger things are out of your reach.
I feel like in any good comedy, you can't stop laughing, can you?
It's just funny.
He's watching it going, I've worked with them. Which one am I? It's not all change. You've reunited with Hugh Skinner as Will. We've got a clip from tomorrow night's episode that shows you two can still get a laugh out of a simple coffee order.
How good to have Will back by your side.
Hugh is such a wonderful actor, and Ian Fletcher feels very sort of avuncular, if not paternalistic, towards him, because he is a bit of a loose cannon. He means well. I describe him as the Paddington of the office world. You know that he's going to get things into a mess, but through no malice or forethought, just gets into at work. Other forces at work who want better coffee and better biscuits.
Everybody in the room is chuckling away, and I think the success of any comedy is that you watch it and you relate to it, don't you? There must be characters that you're going, yep, I've crossed those, I know those. Is that something that people say?
Absolutely, and I think this is the genius of John Morton's writing throughout these three iterations of Ian Fletcher's journey, that you're working alongside people who have their own agendas, their own, and indeed, let us be honest, their own failings. And Ian is at the middle of it all, trying to, sort of wondering with every meeting that goes by, who is actually going to achieve what they say they're going to do, or indeed understands the brief. I think we've all been in those meetings.
Hang on, is it a comedy or a documentary? I better leave.
I think Zan can't do his best work without the right tea and a biscuit being delivered to him. That's the truth, isn't it? You talk about the writing, that's the thing. That scene we just saw there must have come on about 5 or 6 pages of paper. When it's acted out, it's brilliantly done by you and Hugh Skinner. Stranger to this type of role, though, Hugh, we've got something here back in 1995, the iconic Wendy Richard in an episode of EastEnders, giving her son's headmaster 30 years ago, Hugh.
That's hilarious. I mean, that's amazing that, the shirt, the suit, the hair, and Wendy Richard. I mean, that's amazing. That was a very memorable day. I was so naive about being on telly, and I said to her, there was a friend of mine, I was working on a film with him, and he happened to be directing a block of EastEnders, and I said, look, I'm never going to be cast in EastEnders. If you see a tiny part pop up, please. Anyway, this part of the headmaster popped up, and I turned up at the studios, and the guy at the gate said, oh, yes, they're just filming in the Queen Vic at the moment. So in my naivety, I walked across Albert Square, opened the door to the Queen Vic, and then was surprised to find a load of scaffolding poles. It hadn't really twigged with me that they'd actually be in a studio for the interiors. So that's how young I
was. To be fair, though, it's an amazing job to get for an actor, but a brilliant starting place, isn't it, EastEnders?
It was great. I mean, I was only in there for an afternoon, obviously. I have to say, though, my memory of that day was Michelle Collins. I was walking around a corridor, clutching my suit bag, utterly mystified as to where I was meant to go, what I was meant to do. And she popped her head out of a makeup room and sort of said, "Can I help?" and welcome and all that. And I've never forgotten that. And it was incredibly kind of her, because I was, panicking and worried about how to behave, what to do. There's nothing more tense-making than being a guest artist on something that is such an iconic machine as that. And I've never forgotten that. And I'm doing a play in the West End at the moment, Shadowlands, and I always try and remember the team. We're working as a team here, and the people who are starting out need as much help as the people who are playing the lead parts.
It's so true, and what a journey it's been from headmaster in Albert Square for an afternoon to running the World Cup in Miami. You can watch new episodes of 2026 on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. on BBC Two, or binge the full series now on iPlayer. Always a pleasure, Hugh. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.